So the new Heineken Champions Cup season is back this week, and Ulster are one of the first teams that are going to be back in action because they're playing this Friday against Toulouse, of course, the side that knocked them out of the competition in the quarterfinals last season. Ulster head coach Dan McFarland is speaking to me at the moment. Dan, I imagine a little bit of unfinished business around Toulouse, but this time it's at home and a chance to right a lot of maybe the wrongs that happened in the south of France a couple of months back.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Neil. It actually seems a long time ago now that we played Toulouse, and in a sense, it is last season, but it's actually not that long ago. But yeah, there is unfinished business there, and it's we didn't feel that we played as well as we can over there. Having said that, Toulouse are a top quality side, and if you're off the money slightly, it doesn't matter whether it's home, it's away, wherever it is, whoever you are, they're going to put you to the sword.
Yeah, certainly. And I imagine a lot of players have things they want to set straight as well. But obviously, just in terms of this season's competition, with the new pool system and the way things are laid out, a fast start this season is absolutely vital. As much as it is every other season, this season in particular, though, when you're only playing 4 games, it is absolutely enormous.
Oh, it is, yeah, and you're not only competing against the people in your specific group of 3 teams or the teams that you're playing. It's against a whole raft of other players, other teams. So, 4 games is leaves no room for error. And when you look at it, it's not that 4 wins is going to be a minimum, because I suspect that 3 wins could get you into the quarterfinal with the odd bonus point. But when you're playing sides of the caliber of Toulouse and Gloucester, 3 wins is a big ask for a club like us, and it's something that we're obviously aiming for, but we're not going to underestimate the challenge in front of us.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people after that defeat to Toulouse in the quarterfinals, and I think maybe it was coming off the back of the fact that you only had 1 win in that closing period of the season when we came back from lockdown. A lot of people were actually a little bit worried about Ulster's form. There was kind of a sort of a tired look almost to some of the players. But the good thing is, ever since you came back for this new season, 100% record, playing some fantastic stuff. And only for the fact that Leinster have picked up a bonus point in every single game they've played. In any other season, you'd imagine Ulster might actually be quite a few points clear at the top of a conference.
Yeah, look, we didn't play well for whatever reason when we came back, and there were that wasn't the whole time. We did play some nice stuff, but it wasn't consistently enough to be able to win. And especially given the caliber of the opposition that we were playing. We faced Leinster twice in that time and played Toulouse, and these are really, really good opposition, and obviously not a single game at home. The nature of the way that the injuries worked in the squad throughout that build up to post lockdown meant that we didn't build any cohesion, and I think there are a little bit of elements of the way that we approached the game that meant that we didn't hit the ground running, and it ended up not playing the way that we want to play. But we had a reset, and we had a few things go our way after that, and we've come with a different mindset to the way that we play the game now, or I say different, slightly adjusted mindset to the way that we're approaching our training and our play, and it's paid dividends for us.
After the Pro 14 final, you said on TV that it kind of felt at that particular moment anyway, like the gap between Leinster and the rest was even bigger than it had felt pre-kickoff. Was that something, looking back now, that maybe you kind of think it kind of felt like that in the heat of the moment, or since the couple of months have passed and you've seen the good start that you've got off to, that, you are feeling a little bit better about that gap between Leinster and the rest?
I don't know, to be honest, Neil. Like we obviously haven't played against Leinster. We had an A game against them and won down there, but it's it's a really difficult one to assess. You know, they're as it stands in the league at the moment, they're untouchable from what everybody else has been able to do against them. Nobody's even stressed them. So, you know, I would still say that they're in that position in our league. Well, the bottom line is that the main focus for us is improving the depth of our squad, improving the guys in at the top of the squad to try and get in a position where we can play consistently over a season, and then when the big games count, if we're lucky enough to get into those games, that we're able to put in performances that are going to win playoff matches. But you know, like, that's all got to be put in context of the quality of the teams that we're playing against. And you know, the likes of Toulouse and Leinster offer, you know, huge challenges. Are we ready to beat them? I certainly believe that we're capable of beating them on any given day. Whether we're able to do that consistently, you know, that remains to be answered.
You've had a few players away at the moment on international duty, just like Billy Burns, Rob Herring, off the top of my head, Ian Henderson as well. But obviously you've been able to keep the likes of John Cooney, Sean Reedy, Geordie Murphy, a lot of other guys as well, who might have considered themselves or would have hoped to have been in the mix for test matches over the last few weeks. When that kind of a situation happens, is there, like, I imagine on some part of you, you're disappointed for the lads that they're not selected. The selfish part of you as Ulster head coach must actually be quite happy that you have these guys with you for these games during this period of time when other teams are missing a lot of their very good players.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing for us is that in this period, we've apart from John, we've missed most of our backs. You know, whether that's through being with the international setup in Stu, Billy, and Jake, or whether it's through injury. You know, a lot of the frontline backs have not been available, with Will and Luke Marshall and Robert Ballacoom not being there. But we got a lot of exciting talent in the backs coming through, and it's been an opportunity for us to develop that depth with, you know, the likes of Stuart Moore and James Hume and Ethan McElroy all getting opportunities to play in there. And then the interesting thing in the forwards there, like, Rob and Ian have been away, but we've got some pretty experienced forwards there that are with us, and I think that's put us in really good stead over this period of 8 games, and possibly something that some of the other teams haven't had. So with the likes of Marty Moore and Sam Carter and Al O'Connor, Geordie, Sean, Marcel, you know, in the forwards, you know, that's really helpful when you've got to grind out these games while international games are going on. And you know, other guys have jumped up in amongst that, the likes of John Andrew, who's played some really fantastic rugby. You know, Greg Jones has come in and played some really good games. And people like Marcus Ray and Dave McCann, who played at the weekend, have had a chance to shine in amongst that experience. So, you know, there's been a real element of seniority in that forward pack there that's helped us through those times. Do I want them playing with us? No. You know, the objective is for me to prepare the team with the players that we have. One of the goals for us is to get as many people playing for their country as possible, and you know, if that's South Africa or if that's Ireland, it doesn't really matter. I want these guys to achieve their ambitions, and most of them really want to play. The vast majority of them really want to represent their country. So whenever that happens, you know, we're applauding that. There's never a sense of deflation or worry about that. We get on with what we've got to get on with. You know, I think that's the only way to be, and it's I'd love to see those guys playing for their country.
Certainly, yeah. And just finally for me then, Dan, on Jacob Stockdale, obviously we're seeing him more often now at fullback than we are on the wing. Was that something that you wanted to see initially? Was it a bit of direction from the IRFU that they were looking at playing him there at 15? And is he looking like a long-term fullback rather than winger in your mind?
Look, I think the fantastic thing is that Jacob can play left wing or well, right wing, I suppose, if you asked him to, but fullback as well. You know, it's he has a skill set that can cover off both of those positions. You know, we put him at fullback. Will Addison was injured, and we needed somebody who was of quality playing in that position. And as I say, he's got the skill set, so we played him there, and we knew. You know, we knew, one, that he wanted to have a go at that, two, that he'd done a really excellent job in the previous season when we played away at Edinburgh, and he'd had a fantastic performance in that fullback slot. So, you know, the fullbacks tend to get quite a few more touches, and of course, as an athlete and ball carrier, you want Jacob getting a lot of touches. So it'll be interesting to see what we do now. What we'll do is we'll do what's best for the team, as we always do. So coming into these games, it'll depend on the combination of players that we want to put on the pitch as to how we go.
Dan McFarland, very best of luck against Toulouse this week and throughout the rest of the competition as well.
Thanks very much, Neil. Enjoyed it. Thank you.